Chapter 341, One-Day Journey in the Primordial World, 8. Soldier versus soldier, king versus king. This was the most brutal rule that wild beasts abode by. Newly born experts amongst the beasts could challenge the old beast king and fight for the beast king's throne. Feng Lin agitated his beast king gene to its greatest extent and brought up an overwhelming aura. It was as if black clouds had come pressing down, scaring many demonic beasts until they kept on backing off, not daring to get close in the slightest. All of the Beast King gene's powers gushed out, forming black smoke and guiding the spiritual chi. They suppressed violent emotions, filled with savage intents, and brought about similar effects like that of a demonic aura. In the eyes of these demonic beasts, Feng Lin was a human-shaped beast king. He stood before the tiger demon and sent his aura clashing against it. Their auras met and distorted the space, challenging each other head-on. A battle between two beast kings was provoked. A new king versus the old king. Many demonic beasts started to grow sadly, only dare to watch from afar. How on earth did he do that? At the sight of this strange scene, the 100 Grass Town's demonic spirits found it really unbelievable. However, the village head spoke up. If I'm not mistaken, a battle between beast kings will be taking place. The victor will become the new beast king. This honorable guest is really amazing. With this, the other demonic beasts won't be able to interfere in the battle between him and the tiger demon. They'll be able to have an opportunity to fight each other one-on-one, fair and square. Pay attention to this battle, it's a rare opportunity. It's very hard to see something like this. The village head had lived for over 1,000 years and had seen many things in life. The other demonic spirits took his words for it and nodded. Quick, look, it's starting. A series of gasps rang out. At the next moment, Feng Lin made his move, turning into a series of light and shadows as he darted out rapidly. The tiger demon stood on the mountain. He had a burly physique and looked savage and ferocious. To think that Feng Lin, as the challenger, dared to make the first move to attack. He was really daring. A lad who popped up from who knows where dares to lash out at my prestige. You're courting death. The tiger bared its teeth and let out a burst of maniacal laughter. Its pair of tiger claws tore out fiercely. They were as sharp as steel, making it so lashing sounds appeared in the air. Feng Lin's two fists were like hammers, not dodging at all but smashing straight out. The fist and claw collided, instantly sending out a ripple that could be seen by the naked eye, sweeping up smoke and dust into the air. Feng Lin was forced back 10 meters into the air. But by condensing the wind around his lower body like a spring, he kicked in the air and bounced back. His body shot out once again like a bullet. Sky-flipping hammer imprint. His fist came crashing down onto the human world like a great mountain. Tiger demon slash. The tiger demon smiled savagely, crossing its claws and bringing along a bloodthirsty wind. It appeared savage and ferocious, wanting to tear this repulsive guy completely into shreds and devouring him. Bang bang bang. The punches and claws kept colliding, sending seething and violent air currents out. Feng Lin fought against the tiger demon head-on like a wild beast. It was a battle of the most primitive nature, each punch was hitting its target and the entire battle was extremely violent. Bang bang bang. Colliding sounds kept on ringing out, causing everyone's hearts to tremble. The tiger demon had a big muscular body like a bull, capable of summoning a tremendous force and shaking the earth with every move it made. Countering it, Feng Lin activated his spiritual stone monkey gene to its fullest. His body swelled up, turning into a ferocious monkey with thick and muscular arms. He wasn't at a disadvantage at all. The two beast kings went at each other. At this stage, the fierce killing aura completely frightened those demonic spirits, and many demonic beasts went fleeing in all directions. The battle was drawn out without either side winning. The tiger demon opened its mighty mouth and took in a breath fiercely. Hiss hiss hiss. The surrounding air gushed toward his lungs, forming a green air vortex. He roared out suddenly. Tiger King's roar. Accompanied by thunderous sounds, a huge gust of wind exploded under its feet, sending up soil and tempest that surrounded Feng Lin entirely. Wind blades shot out, releasing chi-chi sounds in the surroundings. Anything that entered it would be subject to countless slashes. Bang bang bang. Sparks splattered. Surrounded by the countless wind blades, Feng Lin's clothes were instantly shredded up, and sparks splattered on his skin that was tough as rock, leaving behind streams of obvious white marks. Roar. Feng Lin exhaled, let out a cry, and put his fingers together like a sword. He gathered all of his powers into one spot and slashed down harshly. Immortal slaying sword imprint. The strong gale was instantly chopped into two by the sword attack. A figure darted out of the gale with the sword attack pointed straight at the tiger demon's head. He was just like an ancient sword celestial, attacking his enemy fiercely at lightning speed. Roar. The tiger demon didn't dodge and counterattacked instead. A whirlwind circled its body and started flashing at extremely fast speed. Instantly, it summoned countless punches and claw attacks flying toward Feng Lin's body. They were so fast that even Feng Lin could only sense many afterimages with his spirit force. His body was unable to keep up, and he suffered a complete defeat in terms of their speed. Feng Lin's sword force was instantly broken apart, and he was sent flying out fiercely. The force reached his internal organs through his tough skin and flesh, dealing him with heart-piercing pain. This mustn't continue on. The tiger demon was ferocious. Feng Lin had awakened the Beast King gene but had yet to strengthen it to the maximum. Thus, he wasn't considered a true Beast King yet. He also wasn't a match for this tiger demon in terms of close combat. But Feng Lin didn't give up. He flipped over, covered in burning purple flames that instantly formed waves of fire around him. Earth Fiend True Fire? That tiger demon was startled. Its expression turned wary and it kept on retreating incessantly. If it were to be burned by the true fire, it would be incinerated into ashes even though its demon king's body was heavily tempered. Black Termination Demon Wind. The tiger demon summoned its demon force, creating a series of bone-chilling black wind that covered up the sky and the sun. The chill actually blew out Feng Lin's true fire gradually. Although the Earth Fiend True Fire was very powerful, it wasn't invincible. A demon that transformed from a wild beast tended to not excel in magical techniques. However, they had their own innate divine ability. Before this demonic wind, the Earth Fiend True Fire seemed to have lost its effect. The black wind kept seething with an icy and bone-piercing chill. Feng Lin leaped into the air to dodge the demonic wind's attack. However, the tiger demon also soared into the air in chase after Feng Lin with the wind acting as its wings. Dragons come from the clouds and tigers from the wind. Once a tiger demon succeeded in its cultivation and took form, it would possess an innate ability to control demonic wind. Both of them could fly and broke free from the land's restraints, fighting it out in the sky. They would occasionally soar into the clouds and charge toward the ground. Fierce air currents shredded the clouds in the sky into tiny pieces. Everyone on the ground was silent. Even the 100 Grass Town's demonic spirits were in a daze as they watched this. Roar, roar, roar. The tiger demon kept on roaring non-stop, sending demonic air gushing out and slicing the air. Wrapped up by the wind blades, each of its claw attacks would have a slicing force. The tiger demon brought about a violent gale that stirred up the sky into a paste. It was a blatant one-sided battle of power. A person with great strength can win against 10 people who know martial arts. Feng Lin wasn't even able to get close but was already slashed by countless wind blades that his entire body was in intense pain. However, he mustn't lose this battle between beast kings. Once he lost, he'd probably be instantly devoured by those demonic beasts. Beast King Gene +5 was still too low. Then, add points. With a single thought, the remaining 2 free genetic points were instantly added to the Beast King gene. Beast King gene plus 6. Beast King gene plus 7. Chapter 342, One Day Journey in the Primordial World, 9. Name, Phong Lin. Vitality, 1318. Transcendent gene, Spiritual Stone Monkey gene, 10, Beast King gene, 7. Primeval gene. Basic gene. Genetic potential, 36.8. Having gained 2 genetic points consecutively, Phong Lin could feel the waves of energy rushing through him, sending ripples reverberating into the air. Is this the strength of the Beast King force? Phong Lin clenched his fists and felt the vigor gush through his vessels like hot, boiling lava. He now had better control of the energy force, which felt like a resilient rope within his grip, waiting to unleash the energy within. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Riding on the wings of the howling wind, the tiger demon hovered over Phong Lin, casting ominous shadows at its every move. As if it was omnipresent, it charged towards Phong Lin from all directions, clawing at him with an unmistakable thirst for blood. The strengthening of the Beast King gene gave him the instinct of wild beasts, which greatly helped to fend off the attacks. This was evident in his ability to keep up with the tiger demon's movements this time round, something he was unable to do in his earlier encounter with it. Needless to say, he also felt recharged as the strengthening of the gene had replenished his strength as well. Bang! 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 The sounds of Phong Lin's fist clashing against the tiger demon's claw could be heard as the two got entangled in their barefisted fight. Though the tiger demon was as powerful as before, it no longer had an overwhelming advantage over Phong Lin. Try my newly invented fist art. Phong Lin bellowed as he changed his stance to put an end to this standstill. With that, his back arched, his chest puffed up, and his biceps enlarged to resemble the physique of a beast. This caught the tiger demon by surprise, and it was momentarily distracted by the beast-like aura that Phong Lin was giving off. Could he be a tiger demon too? This only served to further confuse the dim-witted tiger demon. White Tiger 7 slaughters. Now that Phong Lin had the upper hand, he was not going to hesitate to make his kill. There was no better time to make his move. In a swift movement, Phong Lin's claws tore through the air and inadvertently changed the flow of the wind. Feeling empowered, his body dashed toward the tiger demon at the speed of the wind. Boom! The two silhouettes collided with an immeasurable force that exploded and transformed the wind into dagger-like blades that rained down and pierced the ground underneath. The spirits and beasts who were unable to escape in time were immediately impaled and killed on the spot. Poised to attack the vital points of the other, both Phong Lin and the tiger demon had no intention to retreat. Tiger's wind. The tiger demon was riding the hauntingly chilling demonic wind. Phong Lin's white tiger, however, was an Eastern mythical creature. Its ability was a combination of the attributes of the killer white tiger star, killer aura, razor-sharp claws, and dagger-like gale. It did not take long for the tiger demon to be battered and wounded. That said, it refused to surrender and continued growling while trying to fight back. However, Phong Lin was used to its speed by now, and it was no longer possible to ambush him. As he got used to the tiger demon's pace, his odds at winning was starting to improve. It seemed like he might not suffer a crushing defeat after all. Though the tiger demon had the advantage of ferocious power, with a body as sturdy as a rock and bones as resilient as metal, Phong Lin's defense was not one that could easily be breached with just the strength of claws. It might not have seen it coming, but the tiger demon was also soon to lose its final advantage of strength. Heart Monkey Empowerment. At the will of Phong Lin, the Heart Monkey force gushed through his body and boosted his abilities. With that, the strength of his willpower had overcome the limits of the physical world. With the Heart Monkey Empowerment, Phong Lin could feel his fists get progressively heavier. 3 times, 5 times, then 10 times its weight. When the spiritual stone monkey gene reached the level of 10, it would increase one's strength by 10 folds. That was the limit of Phong Lin's strength then. The original strength of his fist already exceeded 5,000 kilograms. What would 10 times that feel like? His heavyweight punches could break through anything and could leave all before his eyes in shambles. Despite its huge physique, the tiger demon could not help but retreat in fear at the prowess of Phong Lin's fists. Phong Lin's abilities greatly exceeded that of the tiger demons. His blood was boiling with vitality. It was like there was an everlasting flow of energy running through his veins. Get him while he's down. White tiger first slaughter. White tiger ear slash. Like a streak of lightning, Phong Lin took the form of a silhouette and swiftly tackled the tiger demon to the grounds. Unleashing the power in his fists, he stabbed both ears of the tiger demon in a merciless move. This move gave him the chance to stab its brain through its ears, causing instantaneous death. There was no chance for survival once that happened. The tiger demon was aware of the situation he was in and immediately threw its claws toward Phong Lin in defense. In Phong Lin's attempt to kick the claws away, he unwittingly released his grip on the tiger demon, giving it a chance to break loose. Clack! The tiger demon intuitively retreated and escaped the death clutch. That said, it had already left him bloodied and in severe pain. White tiger second slaughter. Tiger ferocious roar. Without hesitation, Phong Lin rapidly hurled towards the tiger demon. With a deep breath, he puffed up his chest and allowed his powerful lungs to channel the air into an intimidating growl that ripped through the mountains and valleys. This formidable growl created a vacuum, trapping the tiger demon within. Its sound frequency also exceeded the receptive limit of a human's ear and was capable of driving one into a crazed mental state. Third slaughter, white tiger devours heart. Fourth slaughter, mythical tiger lashing tail. Fifth slaughter, tiger swallows sun and moon. Based on the forms of the white tiger portrayed in the murals, Phong Lin had developed the white tiger 7 slaughters and was now demonstrating it one by one. They were certainly even more ferocious than the moves of the tiger demon. With the moves executed one after the other, the power unleashed overwhelmed the tiger demon. It could only growl in anguish. Once again, Phong Lin had the upper hand. The spirits of the 100-grass town exchanged looks of bewilderment. Now, between the two, who was the actual tiger demon again? How could this person be more ferocious than the tiger demon king? Bang! 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 The clashing of the fists and claws rang through the air as Phong Lin unleashed his power onto the tiger demon, causing it to repeatedly reel back in excruciating pain. Why should the tiger demon, the king of the mountains, have to endure such humiliation? Die. At that thought, the king, marking on the tiger demon's forehead and the patterned runes that embellished its body started glowing and giving off an unsettling aura. The horn atop its head, in particular, was emitting unnerving waves that distorted space. By now, the tiger demon was completely enveloped in a dark, sinister whirlwind. Phong Lin's expression stiffened, knowing that they were approaching the final face-off. Tiger King ghosts. With a sinister growl, a chilly wind swept through like a tornado from hell, bringing with it a dark fog that soon settled to reveal one after another floating skulls, with every single one looking anguished and wailing in silence. These are all the vengeful ghosts of those that were killed by the tiger demon. Legend has it that living beings devoured by the tiger demon will not be able to enter the underworld. Instead, they will be captured by ferocious tigers and enslaved to the tiger demon, never to be reincarnated. The sinister winds surrounded Phong Lin as the skulls chomped on his spirit, infusing it with their demonic energy and stealing his life force with every bite. So that's the tiger demon's strategy. With his willpower unwavered, Phong Lin magnified his spirit force to the greatest level and unleashed his next move in retaliation. White Tiger 7 slaughters. Extermination of all beings. With bloodshot eyes, Phong Lin was more determined to win this battle than ever. If anything, the attack from the tiger demon only drew out the ferocity of the spiritual stone monkey gene that instantly shattered the demonic force of the evil spirits. Focusing the power, focusing. Once he had garnered all his power in his fist, he knew that he had reached the epitome of his strength. His intention to kill was boundless, and at this rate, he could easily wipe out all beings in the surroundings. Feng Lin's claw clamored at the tiger demon as the winds howled. Within moments, the tiger demon would be completely trapped in his grip. Still recovering from the exhaustion from unleashing its killer move, the tiger demon froze in fear at the unexpected retaliation from Feng Lin. Slash. A clean cut through the tiger demon's skull split it right open and sent brain juices and blood splattering in all directions. The massive body of the tiger demon swayed and struggled to not fall over. With a wave of his hand, Feng Lin stored the remnants of the tiger demon into his pill concoction furnace. Even a normal tiger would have been a treasure to seize, let alone a tiger demon that had trained and cultivated his spirit for hundreds of years. The bloody skeleton possessed a spiritual aura that was even more beneficial than that of gene potions. As such, the remnants made the best ingredients for pill concoction. Throwing out one last punch, Feng Lin knocked the tiger demon to the ground. At that, he screamed with exhilaration at his victory. Having watched how it all went down, the surrounding demonic beasts scurried away in fear. Similarly, to the demonic spirits of the 100-Grass town, it was like they had their hearts in their throats as they watched, hardly letting out a breath for fear of being heard. Once the adrenaline rush passed, Feng Lin came to a sudden realization. This battle with the tiger demon had given him new insights into the Beast King gene. He couldn't wait to try accelerating its evolution and attain a breakthrough when he was back in school. "Our esteemed guest, thank you for saving our 100-Grass town," said the village head while approaching Feng Lin with warm gratitude. The 100-Grass town was built according to the mountainscapes. Feng Lin followed the lead of the village head into the village and was met with a giant, deep sinkhole that seemed to go on forever. On closer inspection though, it appeared that this was not a normal sinkhole. Encrusted on the walls were jades that illuminated the space. What caught his attention next though was what rendered him speechless and in shock. Right before his eyes, next to the giant sinkhole, was a humongous ginseng. Chapter 343, One-Day Journey in the Primordial World, 10. Ginseng was a type of herb. But had anyone seen a ginseng with the size of a 1,000-year banyan tree? Well, Feng Lin just did. Its crinkled and coarse feelers that were the size of tree branches dug deep into the ground, crisscrossing and forming a web surrounding where Feng Lin stood. The ginseng in the center of all was exceptionally dominating and colossal, resembling that of the 1,000-year-old tree. "Foreign visitor, are you here?" A weak voice uttered, and from the midst of ginseng feelers, a wrinkled, aged face emerged. His expression was kind as he looked upon Feng Lin. "Are you the old ancestor?" Feng Lin asked plainly. "That's right. Only the spirit kings have the power to dominate territories in ancient Earth. I am the one who built the 100-Grass town," the ginseng king replied with a laugh. A glimmer of spirit light shone through his withered eyes as he scrutinized Feng Lin. His gaze cut through Feng Lin, seemingly with the intent to unveil all his secrets. "If I am not wrong, you are not from this world, are you?" the ginseng king probed. "What do you mean?" Feng Lin felt a lump in his throat. He stayed apprehensive about what the ginseng king might have observed. The ginseng king chortled and continued, "Though this world is huge, there are few who can tell your identity just by looking. The ginseng tribe has enjoyed longevity, and the ginseng spirits in particular have lived for more than 10,000 years, so naturally, we are much more knowledgeable than other spirit tribes. According to our ancestors, this world is a self-sufficient entity detached from the real world. You do not possess the aura of this world. Thus, you must not be from here." Feng Lin remained silent and guarded. It had certainly taken him by surprise that the ginseng king could know so much about him from just a glance. The wise ginseng king seemed to have noticed his cautiousness as well. He went on to gently assure him, "Don't you worry. I will not hurt you. To be honest, that may not have been the case 100 years or even 1,000 years back. However, I am getting old and will soon approach the end of my time. I will not be able to fight you anyway. In fact, I was no match for the tiger demon either. If not, I would not have lured you here with the Xiantian spirit treasure. This is a rare treasure that has brought on many battles for its possession throughout the history of the ancient earth. You know that this is a Xiantian spirit treasure? Feng Lin probed, puzzled at the turn of events, as he tightened his grip around the copper coin in his hand. Does the Ginseng King know the value of the copper coin? If he does, why would he give it up? The Ginseng King let out a laugh at Feng Lin's confusion. There are ancient inheritances passed on from one generation to another in the Ginseng spirit tribe. The copper coin possesses Xiantian Dao charm and limitless capacity, so naturally, I will be able to tell that it is a Xiantian spirit treasure. Unfortunately, it has suffered severe damage and its Xiantian qi is dwindling fast. As such, it will soon lose its use completely. If not for that, I would not have given it up to you. However, I am impressed and intrigued that you were able to identify its potential immediately. So that's why. Feng Lin quietly nodded. Though it was an heirloom that the Ginseng King inherited, he seemed to lack the knowledge of its origin and true worth. This copper coin was considered a very rare Xiantian spirit treasure in the investiture of the gods. Even though Feng Lin did not know how it got severely damaged, he was aware that it still possessed immense intrinsic value. Just the Xiantian Dao charm would have been considered priceless. The inability of the Ginseng King to see its intrinsic value was his loss. I wonder how much has changed in the outside world, the Ginseng King uttered. Since his identity had already been exposed, there was no use denying it. Feng Lin gave a brief overview of the developments of the galaxy, without sharing in detail the fundamental principles of the interstellar technology. Even so, it was enough to leave the Ginseng King in awe at its progress. I can't believe that the future civilizations managed to invent such unfathomable technology over these past centuries. Even though this is just the start of the revolution, the underlying potential is immense. Maybe in years to come, it could revive the state of the legendary civilizations or even exceed their progress. The Ginseng King took in a deep breath, seemingly in preparation for the big decision he was about to make. Young friend, may I seek your help in something? He asked in a grave tone. What is it? Feng Lin responded, clearly wary of the Ginseng King's agenda. Dismissing the caution in Feng Lin's voice, the Ginseng King went on to share his request. The world outside sure sounds wonderful and full of opportunities. May I seek your help in bringing along 4 children of our village with you? Almost immediately, the ginseng feelers spread open to reveal 4 tiny silhouettes. They were the young spirits of the ginseng, tea tree, Ganoderma, and snow lotus. These spirits are going to follow me on my journey. What have I done to deserve such luck? Feng Lin was in disbelief. Though he did save the 100-grass town earlier, he would never have expected to have garnered such trust that the tribe would feel safe entrusting their children to him. Feng Lin stood, astonished at the generosity and goodwill of the Ginseng King. Why did you choose me? Feng Lin asked solemnly. You could have escaped when you were attacked by the spirits and monsters, but you kept your promise and fought the tiger demon head-on, saving the 100-grass town. Just this act of yours is more than deserving of our trust. The Ginseng King smiled and added, besides that, the fact that you were able to spot the Xiantian spiritual treasure at first glance also demonstrated your immense talent. I value that. For some reason, there seemed to be more to his words than meets the eye. Feng Lin appeared deep in thoughts, unconvinced by the Ginseng King's words. While these words might have easily patronized a 3-year-old, Feng Lin was not to be fooled. Your Majesty, why don't you just tell me the truth? These 4 young spirits would need at least a few hundred more years of training to reach their full potential. Why would you entrust them with me? Stop kidding. If you are not willing to tell me the truth, then do pardon my inability to accede to your request. Feng Lin's reply was cold and straightforward. What? The Ginseng King's wrinkled eyes sharpened at the curt remark and stared directly at Feng Lin, giving off an invisible, strong aura that was unlike that of the tiger demons. It was less ferocious, but much more tough and resilient, approaching and surrounding Feng Lin from all directions. Feng Lin straightened his body and stared right back, unwavered. Seeing that Feng Lin had no intention of giving in anytime soon, the Ginseng King sighed and relented. Fine, I will tell you the truth. This world will be met with its impending doom soon. That is why I specially requested for your help to bring the 4 kids out so that the tribes of the 100 Grass Town will not go extinct at its destruction. Impending doom? Feng Lin repeated in shock. Are you lying to me again? Could a self-made and self-sufficient world like this be destroyed? How is it impossible? The Ginseng King replied matter-of-factly. Even stars do not shine forever. All things in the universe flourish and wither. If there is life, there naturally is death. It is so for humans. It is so for the stars. And it is certainly so for a small planet too. The only thing that differs is the timeline it happens. With the short lifespan of humans, even if they had been through 9 reincarnations, they would still not live to see the end of a planet. Plant spirits like us are particularly sensitive to traces of life, so we had long since prophesied the impending destruction of this world. Feng Lin silently nodded in acknowledgement. Come to think of it, it did make sense and align with the second law of thermodynamics in physics. A closed system with no contact with the outside world would just keep going through entropy generation, with no energy degradation, until it reached a point where it completely self-destructed. This world had been isolated for tens of thousands of years. It did make sense that it would eventually head towards destruction. How much longer do we have until the destruction of this world? Feng Lin directed the most critical question at the Ginseng King. It could be any time between 1,000 years and 10,000 years. Chapter 344, One-Day Journey in the Primordial World, End. Your Majesty has certainly given the future much thought. Feng Lin thought sarcastically. There was still so much time left before the destruction of this world. Was there a need to think that far? But then, after thinking about the longevity of the spirits, it all started to make sense. Their lifetime easily spanned thousands of years. Certainly, tens of thousands of years would just mean a few generations to them. When put into perspective, the destruction of this world must seem like a looming fate. Each of these 4 young spirits possesses their own unique abilities. They would certainly be of use to you if you bring them along. Being born here also meant that they possess the powers of the planet. Should you wish to return here and continue exploring, they would be able to guide your journey back as well. I am sure you find the boundless resources here to be precious too. The Ginseng King shared confidently with a smile. At this point, he seemed assured that Feng Lin would find his offer hard to refuse. And that was most certainly the case. Bringing the young spirits along could definitely do him some good. The 4 of them were all spiritual plants and thus already possessed great innate value. In addition, they could also be the key to come back here. He had nothing to lose. Since the 100 Grass Town had already made their wishes clear, Feng Lin was not going to cruelly turn them down either. How was he going to bring them along without being discovered by others though? Inviting unwanted attention could be a problem. However, since the pros outweighed the cons, it was worth the risk. All right. I would help. Feng Lin agreed in a resolute manner. That's great. The Ginseng King exclaimed in joy and spread the news via ultrasonic waves to the 4 young spirits. The young spirits slowly approached Feng Lin with caution and fear. Feng Lin looked over calmly. Whoosh. All of a sudden, a strong gust of wind blew past, chilling them to the bones and catching them off guard. The young spirits sneezed involuntarily and intuitively snuggled together for warmth. That's bad. The sun has set. You need to leave now, instructed the Ginseng King with a grave expression. His feelers swept Feng Lin and the 4 young spirits out of the cave. What just happened? Feng Lin muttered in confusion as he flew up into the sky, with the four young spirits in his arms. He surveyed the surroundings. They were enveloped in darkness. All he could see was the looming dark clouds gathering above him and the black wind swirling and raging through the grounds. The entrance to the 100-grass town remained tightly shut and not a soul could be seen. This is... Feng Lin was shocked at the strange turn of events. There are no clear laws of nature here. Regardless of seasons, there are only dawn and dusk. It switches from dawn to dusk in mere seconds every day. You have to leave immediately before it turns pitch black or you will not be able to find your way out. The Ginseng King reminded them solemnly. Regardless of the veracity of the Ginseng King's words, Feng Lin assessed that it was certainly best to leave quickly in view of current circumstances. Ignoring the young spirit's reluctance to leave, he took them in his arms and dashed through the clouds and fog, looking for a way out. Hot on his trail though was the gushing black waves that seemed to go on forever, ready to engulf all that was in its way. The darkness brought with it the biting cold that chilled one to the bone, threatening to freeze the blood flowing through the vessels and suck the life out of any living being. All of a sudden, overwhelmed by the possibility of the destruction of the world, his ancient instincts kicked in. In a swift motion, he rapidly retreated and headed toward the valley which he came from. With the advantage of a bird's-eye view, his gaze swept across a land that looked dramatically different from the one he knew. The land had frozen over and all living things within his view had died. The monsters and animals were nowhere to be seen. It was as if all lives on the land had ceased to exist. It was a weird and eerie sight. Feeling a sense of unease, Feng Lin unleashed his spirit force to scan the land for life. It was only then that he discovered the animals hiding silently in various tunnels beneath the ground. It was as if winter had come and they had all gone into hibernation. The only greenery he could spot was also withering at an unusual speed. Could it be spring by day and winter by night? A day here is equivalent to a year in seasonal changes. What a strange world. Something about this does not feel right. Feng Lin furrowed his brows. It was not long before half of the land was cloaked in pitch-black darkness. As the darkness approached, Feng Lin could feel the clouds that he was controlling rapidly froze over and quickly dissipated. His surroundings had changed so tremendously within a short frame of time that it was barely recognizable. He had to leave now. Feng Lin single-mindedly headed toward the valley in his recollection without delay. The further he progressed though, the colder the atmosphere. By now, the temperature was in the negative and yet it continued dropping. It would soon drop below 100 degrees Celsius. Every breath exhaled could instantly turn into snow. The cold was so unforgiving that it seemed capable of freezing one's soul. Shivering uncontrollably in Feng Lin's arms, the four young spirits were starting to hyperventilate. This can't do. Without hesitation, he went on to raise his speed to the maximum. The heart monkey force was unleashed without restraint. Regaining control of the clouds and fog, he rode through the skies at an electrifying pace. Boom. 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 The clash of airflow, flashes of lighting, incessant heat waves, and even hail and typhoons were all crashing down toward the ground. The ground was viciously bombarded in an instant, resulting in a barren land covered in hundreds and thousands of holes and scars. Riding the clouds, Feng Lin focused on evading the attacks, narrowly avoiding the hot and cold waves as they came. The feat was much like dancing on a tight rope, any minor mistake could send him crashing to the ground. After a tumultuous journey, he finally saw a large valley come into view. Distracted by a glimmer of hope, he lost control and plummeted headfirst, tumbling and rolling in fog until he was submerged. The black wave soon caught up with him and was just centimeters away from burying him alive. The changes in his surroundings happened so quickly and abruptly that it felt like he was traveling through space and time. Before he knew it, he had tumbled out of the vortex and was back in the Bonewall tunnel, floating freely in space. Still trying to catch his breath, he cast a troubled look toward the rolling fog behind him, There were still so many secrets and mysteries to be uncovered in that world, but it was beyond Feng Lin's current abilities to do so. It was a quest to be left to the future. Should the place be discovered by others though, he was worried that he would not have the ability to protect it from destruction. He had no intention of slogging for the benefit of others. As such, he was set on keeping this place a secret. The discovery of this world was of great importance to the interstellar humans. It contained the secrets of the Huaxia mythology, and along with it, immense cultivation resources. It had the potential of exponentially advancing the cultivation of the interstellar mythological clans. That said, the resources of the Huaxia mythology ultimately belonged to the Huaxia civilization. Feng Lin was not a saint. In this case, he was quick to put himself first. He felt more in control and at ease, knowing others were unable to access the resources. There was no time to make further plans. He could only try to keep the secret for as long as possible. As he turned to leave the tunnel, he could still see Zhao Yui and the rest looking out from the ancient murals. Upon spotting Feng Lin, a flurry of questions ensued. "Where have you been? We have been looking for you for the past hour. We thought you went missing." "Just an hour." Feng Lin was startled by the revelation. He clearly remembered having spent an entire day in that world. Why did it seem like the rest had just woken up? Could it be that 1,000 years in the cave was equivalent to just a day in the actual world? Chapter 345, The Way Back. "Where have you been?" the rest exclaimed upon seeing Feng Lin. Most of them had a hint of suspicion in their tone. Only a rare few, like Yui and Iron Pillar, were asking out of concern. This bone wall passageway seemed to go on forever. Since I couldn't understand the ancient murals, I went on to explore the passageway instead. Feng Lin replied nonchalantly, feigning ignorance. So that was what happened. Most of them seemed to have bought his lie, with Sut being the exception. "So, what did you find?" Sut probed. "Well, just the ancient murals." Feng Lin said with a shrug and continued, "Look, this was what I scanned with the microchip." He had expected this situation and had prepared what was needed for a convincing cover-up. Using the identity microchip, he switched on the holographic projection to display holograms of ancient murals, one after another, dissipating the crowd's suspicion. This is indeed a good way. We were all so preoccupied with looking at the murals that it never occurred to us that we could store them in the microchip. The school would certainly commend us for this precious mythological knowledge. With that newfound realization, the other students started switching on their identity microchips to make copies of the murals too. Given the limited time and vast amount of murals, it was impossible to look through all. The rays of the microchips illuminated the passageway and swiftly scanned through all the murals, making copies of them. Feng Lin heaved a sigh of relief and followed suit. It felt good to not be running for his life for once. It was only then that Feng Lin finally felt he could take a break. It all seemed like a dream. A day trip around the ancient Earth. And to think that only a brief moment had passed in the outside world. If it was not because his Beast King gene had increased by 2 genetic points, and he had garnered many spirit medicines and 4 young spirits along the way, he might really have thought that he had dreamt it all up. The facts before him clearly demonstrated that all he had experienced was real. Everyone, be quick. The murals contain rare and precious mythological knowledge. If we can bring them back, we will be able to receive great contribution points and rewards from the school. However, time is limited. We should split the task up and copy separate murals. Once we receive the rewards from the school, we can share them according to the amount we have copied. Zhao Yui instructed. All right. The rest joyously agreed. Feng Lin did not hesitate to join in as well. Contribution points were needed in exchange for any resource at Great Wall University. There was no harm in accumulating more of them. No matter how small the reward, it was a reward nonetheless. The identity microchips had all been switched on and were diligently scanning and storing the murals in their databases. They were no longer anxious over their lack of time to view the murals and were all focused on scanning and storing as many copies of the murals as possible. They gradually moved deeper and deeper into the tunnel. A wave of panic washed over Feng Lin. At this rate, wouldn't they eventually find the entrance to the other world? Come and take a look at this. What's that? A student exclaimed. Zhao Yui and the others followed the sound of the voice and stopped right before a thick layer of fog, which separated them from the world beyond it. Feng Lin was feeling unsettled when the howling wind broke his train of thoughts. In the midst of the rolling fog came a strong gust of wind that rushed mindlessly toward them. Before anyone could react, the merciless wind had swept under their feet and carried their bodies away like limp scarecrows, rolling and tumbling in the wind. Within moments, a gust of black wind had cloaked and completely concealed the passageway. It was at this point when the alarm started going off on the micro mecha. Minus 200 degrees, 210 degrees, 220 degrees. Please leave immediately. The temperature is approaching absolute zero and the mecha suit is on the verge of breaking down. The big, red warning sign was flashing threateningly on Feng Lin's suit. Absolute zero is the lowest limit of the thermodynamic temperature scale of the universe. At absolute zero, all object particles will cease to move. The closer to absolute zero you get, the slower the movement of the particles and the fundamental structure of all objects will be thoroughly destroyed. This was a basic principle in the laws of physics of the universe. It couldn't be altered even in alloys. Regardless of how advanced Feng Lin's mecha suit was, it was unable to defy the laws of nature in such low temperatures. It was on the verge of a complete breakdown. Before they could act, the group was quickly enveloped in a rush of cold waves. Survival was now everyone's top priority. Let's go. We are no match for this cold wave of the universe. Zhao Yui called out to the group, with a pressing sense of urgency. It was hard for anyone to maintain their composure in the face of such an interstellar disaster. Without hesitation, Feng Lin readied himself and charged rapidly toward the exit. However, the ferocious and limitless cold waves fought back with a strength that could be likened to the tidal waves, flinging the group out toward the cold, hard bone wall and into the vacuum of the universe. Even the stationary space shuttle was not spared from the damage. Tumbling from the impact, it was on the verge of being washed away. Without the space shuttle, they would be left to fend for themselves in the universe and would unlikely survive. Feng Lin and the rest hurriedly boarded the space shuttle. Looking back, they witnessed the massive cold waves gushed through space like a broken dam, blasting through the meteorites that stood in its way. Nothing was left unscathed. Before this vast universe, nothing could possibly be indestructible, let alone a small space shuttle and its interstellar cultivators. Maneuvering the space shuttle, Sut repeatedly retreated at the sight of the threat. Look! Someone exclaimed, drawing attention toward the view outside the cabins. Along with the destruction of the meteorites, the cold waves had also rammed into the large bone wall, rapidly pushing it back, causing a strong wave fluctuation in the vacuum. As if swallowed by the universe, within seconds, the large bone passageway had disappeared right before their eyes. It was all too sudden. It would be hard to find another passageway like this in the vast universe. Oh no. Now, we are in trouble. The entire mythological secret realm had disappeared. We can never return. There was a collective sense of regret amongst the group. A smile though teased the corner of Feng Lin's lips. It was only then that he realized the value of the Ginseng King's words. The ancient world was a land of its own, segregated from all other space and time. It couldn't survive for long in the outside world. However, with the help of the four young spirits, he could tap on the powers they embodied to retrace his steps back to the ancient world. Let's go. This relic has been completely destroyed. At that, the students sighed at the unfathomable power of the universe and the disastrous damage it was capable of unleashing. What they did not realize though was the great opportunity they had missed, that was, the opportunity to discover the ancient Earth. The engines of the space shuttle rattled, shooting flames across the night sky. In the blink of an eye, the space shuttle had disappeared into the galaxy. The way back was much unlike their arduous journey here, it was a smooth trip. It took only a day after entering the wormhole before they caught a glimpse of the huge interstellar Great Wall. Orion, number 263 Space Shuttle, welcome back to the Great Wall University. A signal could be heard echoing from the Great Wall as the school prepared to receive them. Let's go straight to the Office of Performance Review. Zhao Yue suggested. All right. The others readily agreed as they beamed with excitement. Rest could wait. Even though the mythological secret realm had disappeared, the scanned copies of the ancient murals still possessed a great wealth of mythological knowledge waiting to be uncovered. The possession of these valuable resources was certainly worthy of contribution points. As the space shuttle sped toward the Great Wall, the students sat with their chest puffed up in pride and anticipation of the good news that they were about to deliver to the school. The school was about to be blown away by their groundbreaking discovery. Chapter 346, Groundbreaking Discovery. What? Someone found a new mythological realm? Really? Who discovered it? Was it an archaeological discovery by the school's mythology expert? No. It was discovered by Zhao Yue and a few from student societies. I heard that they even brought back many ancient murals that contain the secrets to the Huaxia Desolate mythology. One of the students is only a freshman named Feng Lin. That's incredible. Isn't he the freshman who was tried in military court earlier and fiercely defended himself? Now, he has even discovered a mythological secret realm? Are the freshmen today all this outstanding? Where exactly is this mythological secret realm? I heard that it was completely destroyed after the group left. We can no longer find it. Even if the school were to send a search team, they would also only be able to find a bunch of meteorites and fossils. That's such a pity. Great Wall University was in a state of excitement, and a flurry of lively discussion filled the hallways. Usually, the discovery of a mythological secret realm would mean that an immense amount of mythological knowledge had been uncovered. It could inspire a new arena of mythological research topics in the classrooms. The mythological knowledge alone was considered extremely precious. Let alone the ancient mythological relics that were discovered. It had been ages since the discovery of a mythological relic had been made known in the vast galaxy. Amidst the chatter, it was clear that Feng Lin had quickly become a person of interest amongst the students. Now though, Feng Lin was still waiting in the spacious lobby alongside Zhao Yue and the others. After receiving their reports on the mythological secret realm, the school had expressed high regard for their contributions and made arrangements for them to wait in the lobby, while the school sent a search team to look for the said place. Unfortunately, all the team could gather was just a bunch of fossils as the mythological secret realm had been destroyed beyond salvation. Zhao Yue and everyone else, please hand over the ancient murals in your possession. It appears that we are not fated to explore the secret realm yet. The search has been futile. What remains of the place are what's in your hands, an elder shared regretfully. Professor Qi, please take a look at this. Zhao Yue and the others presented the ancient murals without reservation as the elder looked on in awe. These ancient murals are painted in the style of the Huaxia ancient paintings. On them, it tells the stories of the extinct divine beasts. Their value is immeasurable. Professor Qi, who was also an expert in mythological archaeology, exclaimed in astonishment. If the ancient murals were deemed to be so valuable, the lost mythological relic must have been priceless. It was clear from the professor's reaction that he found losing the relic to be a shame. Professor Qi, this is not all that we have. The optical computer on the space shuttle has created a mock replica of the original battlefield. Zhao Yue chimed in enthusiastically. She and the others were fully prepared to demonstrate the depths of their find. A mock replica of the battlefield? Professor Qi and his team of mythology experts could not wait to find out more upon hearing those words. Without hesitation, Zhao Yui unlocked her microchip and projected the image of the battlefield. Before their eyes was the scene of the shaman and demon races battle. Gasps of astonishment could be heard from them. "Well done, everyone." It took a moment before Professor Qi finally congratulated the team. Much like the other experts, he was amazed at the incredulous discovery and was unable to hide his excitement. These ancient murals and battle scenes would allow us to make great leaps in our research on the Huaxia mythology. Thanks for your kind words, Professor Qi. My junior, Feng Lin, had a key role to play in making the recreation of the battle scenes possible. Without him, we would not have been able to discover the secret realm. Yui responded with a smile. I see. Professor Qi nodded in acknowledgement and directed his gaze of gratitude toward Feng Lin. Aren't you the survivor of the Great Qin space shuttle incident? The one who killed and fended off dozens of demons on his own? I have heard that you have chosen to study at the Mythology Academy. This is good news for us. You have demonstrated great potential, and it would be a waste of talent if you had chosen another route. There will be much room for you to grow here. Given the military court incident and the recent discovery of the mythological secret realm, it did not come as a surprise that most people at Great Wall University would have heard of Feng Lin by now. The resources you have brought back are extremely valuable. Their estimated worth is 20 million in contribution points, and the rewards will be individually handed out according to the number of murals you have copied, and the overall effort you have put into the task. Accordingly, Zhao Yui will receive 5 million, Sut 4 million. Feng Lin 1 million, Durant 800,000, Caston 720,000. Professor Qi proceeded to allocate the rewards after closely studying the murals and battle scenes. Thanks so much, Professor Qi. Zhao Yui and the rest responded with gratitude, clearly satisfied with the allocation. As a freshman, gaining 1 million in contribution points was more than what Feng Lin could have asked for. He was certainly happy with the outcome. After all, he just appeared to be a follower in the group, and no one was aware that he was the one who had reaped the most benefits from the trip. He had gained the Earth Fiend True Fire and countless spirit medicines, way beyond what he could have expected. It was smart of him to stay low profile after reaping all these benefits. Feng Lin quickly went separate ways from the group after receiving the contribution points. It did not take long for Feng Lin to squander his rewards. Well, regardless of how valuable the points were, their main purpose was to be spent after all. If left idle, they were but useless objects. After a spending spree, he had quickly used them up. Space Shuttle repair status, 51%, 52%, 53%. The automated voice from the AI alerted. The damaged space shuttle floated in space as multiple worker bee robots flew around it, working on repairing it with various rare materials. With that, 900.000 contribution points were spent on repairing the space shuttle. In addition, Feng Lin had also stocked up on a batch of rare materials, to be used in the future should the space shuttle suffer further damage. The Flower Fruit Mountain Space Shuttle was created using the best technology in the galaxy. It was highly advanced and might even be better than most of the private space shuttles one could find at Great Wall University. He had hoped to be able to use this space shuttle for many more years, for his travels through the universe. As such, he couldn't afford for things to go wrong. Large amounts of rare materials were being used to repair the damaged parts of the space shuttle. And gradually, it started to return to its previous pristine form. The excess materials were then stored aside as reserves for future use. The 4 young spirits transformed from spirit medicine, namely the Ginseng Baby, Lingji Girl, Tea Leaf Boy, and Lotus Girl. They also seemed to be adapting well to the place. Drinking their nutrient fluids and staring up at the galaxy, they chatted energetically. Having noticed that they were doing fine, Feng Lin turned his attention to the copper coin in his hands. There was so much left to learn in terms of spiritual world. He could tell that the space within this sentient spiritual treasure seemed boundless. Draped in curtains of fog and mist, it was hard for him to gain a clear view of what it contained. That said, he had only himself to blame for his lack of cultivation. Feng Lin had left a mental imprint on the sentient spiritual treasure to avoid having it stolen by others. Only one whose spirit force was stronger than him be able to erase his mental imprint, but it was rare to come across someone capable of doing so. Feng Lin then spent his remaining 150,000 contribution points on ingredients needed for medicinal refinement and stored them well. Spirit medicine was meant to be used after all. It would be a waste if he left the 1,000-year spirit medicines he had obtained idle. He had no intention of doing so. With a flick of his hand, the pill concoction furnace landed with a thud. The various spirit medicines that were within the furnace had already been retrieved and stored away. Boom. The fire lotus between his brows glowed as he activated the Earth Fiend True Fire, sending dancing flames beneath the furnace. Feng Lin repeatedly transferred his energy to the furnace through his hands. Time to start concocting the pills. Chapter 347, Opening the Furnace for Pill Concoction. The Earth Fiend True Fire blazed intensely in the furnace. Sparks flew about and heat waves were generated. Within it, a strange aura shone as though everything beneath the earth could be refined by it. The temperature in the furnace skyrocketed, the light from the fire illuminating the surroundings. This furnace was passed down from ancient times. It was a divine object used to refine pills. At this moment, under the flames of true fire, it gradually revealed its true appearance. The runic inscriptions engraved around the furnace were now lit up, revealing patterns of the four elements: fire, wind, earth, water. There was also an imprint of the 8 trigrams beside it. Its spiritual energy was greatly enhanced, like it had been awakened from an ancient slumber. It kept on radiating a divine glow. The fires of the furnace also intensified by 30%, emitting smoke. Wah, wah, wah. These 4 were spirits formed from herbs and were afraid of fire. Not to mention that this was the Earth Fiend True Fire. Thus, they cried in fear and ran out. AI, watch them. Feng Lin couldn't set his heart at ease, hence, he gave the command. The flying shuttle was too large, and the 4 spirits were still too young and didn't know much. They shouldn't touch anything that might harm them. One must note that every part of the 4 spirits was incomparably valuable. Yes, Captain, the AI instantly replied, manifesting a figure made from light waves and chasing over. Only then did Feng Lin set his heart at ease as he concentrated on his alchemy. But this time, what he was attempting to concoct wasn't the Dustfall Immortal Pill. During the contribution exchange, he especially paid attention and discovered that the medicinal ingredients to concoct a Dustfall Immortal Pill were worth 20,000 contribution points. The price was considerable. Only now did Feng Lin understand how much advantages had he obtained. Zhao Yui was actually willing to give him 10 portions of medicinal ingredients to refine the Dustfall Immortal Pill, in addition to the 50,000 contribution points. It meant that she had spent a total of 250,000 contribution points. This favor was too great. Feng Lin silently calmed down. He would find an opportunity to repay her later. It wasn't his style to forget about the favors others did for him. But the most important thing now was for him to deal with the incoming school opening ceremony. The Great Wall University was a militarized school. When the school started, there would be compulsory military training for up to 3 months. It was said that the training was extremely harsh and was so tiring that it had the nickname of devilish training. When Zhao Yui parted ways with him, she specially reminded him to make his preparations earlier. The military training would put a huge burden on a cultivator's body. When someone at Zhao Yui's strength was saying such a thing, Feng Lin naturally would heed the advice. With the Earth Fiend True Fire, Feng Lin was no longer satisfied with refining the most basic pills. He wanted to try his hand at an even higher level pill. The Dragon Tiger Exchange Fetus Pill. Dragons were the kings of water, tigers were the kings of the jungle. This pill contained the energy of dragons and the sharpness of tigers, transforming them into a pill fetus. It was able to greatly boost the blood and chi of grand cultivators, exchanging their bones and marrows for a higher graded one. In the inheritance of the furnace alchemy sect, this was considered a top-grade spiritual pill. And when converted to the medicinal potency levels of genetic potions, Feng Lin estimated that it should be at least a high martial grade genetic potion. Dragon Python Tendon, Black Tiger Heart. Feng Lin took out the two main ingredients. These were ingredients harvested from powerful universe creatures, and they were the best ingredients to concoct the Dragon-Tiger Exchange fetus pill. Alchemy was an art that required incomparable precision. Feng Lin closed his eyes and heightened his focus, thinking back to the alchemy techniques he learned, running his mind over them again and again until he was absolutely sure that he would make no mistakes before he moved into action. Activate Furnace. Feng Lin pointed his finger at the center of his brows. A purple-colored fire seed appeared in his palm, forming a resonance with the blazing fire within the furnace. He could control the flames of the true fire now. Dragon Python Tendon, Black Tiger Heart. He didn't waste words and tossed both ingredients in. Under the power of the true fire, the ingredients were melted into two puddles of liquid, one green and one black. They exuded a faint bloody aura. Ong. Roar. Using true fire for the refinement, the puddles soon turned into the vital essence of dragons and tigers, which emitted roaring and howling sounds. The essence of dragons and tigers fused. Gradually, a spiraling greenish-black pill was formed. It looked like a Tai Chi sphere. Pure crystal water. A strange liquid shining with a crystalline light was mixed into the pill, diluting it, not allowing the essence to be overly concentrated. If the refinement was too over the top, it would become as tough as a rock. Even if one consumed it, they wouldn't be able to digest it. True alchemy pills were one with the origin, a fusion of softness and toughness. If it was tougher than skulls, how could one consume it? Blood drink grass, astral water, purple jade marrow. Feng Lin's hands flitted about and placed the various ingredients into it based on a fixed procedure and timing. The temperature of the fire increased in intensity until the flames turned incandescent, reaching an extreme point. The embryonic form of the greenish-black pill now became smoother around the edge as the medicinal properties were fused together, completely freed from all impurities. Only the last step of refinement remained. Enhance the fire. The flames were concentrated in the center of the furnace, filling up the entire space. Close the furnace. Feng Lin clapped his hands, causing the furnace to close up and lock the power of fire within. The slightly rough edges of the pill smoothened even further from the grind of the true fire. The medicinal fragrance gradually faded away as the medicinal potency rapidly locked itself inside the pill. It wouldn't be long before the pill was complete. The closer it was to the end, the more he couldn't relax. The refinement method was different for every pill, so one needed unique techniques. The Dragon-Tiger Exchange fetus pill far surpassed the origin cultivation pill. It needed to transform 365 times with the aid of the true fire. Feng Lin grew increasingly vigilant. His hands weaved about like butterflies flying through the garden. He used his fire control art to precisely control the intensity of the fire, as his hands moved in a unique cadence. The fire in the furnace responded to his will, intensifying and weakening according to his control. The energy provided by the true fire continuously seeped into the medicinal pill. A smooth and round golden pill gradually formed, shining with treasure light. Just a glance at it was enough to tell that it wasn't an ordinary object. Pill collection. Upon performing a hand gesture, the furnace opened up and a golden alchemy pill floated over silently, landing in his hand. Under the light, one could even see the image of a dragon and a tiger moving about. It felt like the pill was a living thing. This pill was clearly extraordinary. Only when one's body was exhausted to the extreme would it be able to unleash its greatest effect. Right now, the time wasn't right to consume this pill. Feng Lin carefully kept it. He then sat down and meditated to regulate his breathing. He waited until he regained his concentration and mental energy before he opened his furnace again. After attempting a few times, other than the first time where he had succeeded, he wasn't as lucky and failed 3 times in a row. But in the end, he persevered and managed to concoct 5 of these pills. These were his greatest trump cards. Since his cultivation base was insufficient, he would use alchemy pills to make up for the shortfall. Nothing is wrong. Reporting to Captain, the repairing process of the flying shuttle is now at 100%, and it is ready for traveling through the universe, the AI updated. His alchemy succeeded and the flying shuttle was fully repaired. Everything was prepared and he only needed to wait for the school to start. Boom. All of a sudden, a signal appeared on the flying shuttle's scanning apparatus. Feng Lin hurried to the control cabin. The space twisted as distortion occurred, and a gigantic metal shuttle suddenly floated out. Its shape was like a deep-sea whale, only far larger in comparison. Great Tang Flying Shuttle is back with the best candidates of the Cosmos University's exams. Requesting permission to enter the Great Wall. The Great Wall University suddenly went into an uproar. All the exams of the Cosmos Universities finally ended. The last batch of exam candidates, also the most outstanding of them all, was finally escorted here. The school was about to start. Chapter 348, Who is this brat? The door of the flying shuttle opened, and numerous young men and women walked out. They had their heads held high and chests puffed up. Their faces were filled with pride and arrogance while the aura radiating from them was immensely powerful. All of them were actually at the level of grand cultivators and above. This was the last batch of geniuses from the examinations, and they succeeded in killing their way out of the ranking battles. Thus, each of them must have shocking combat prowess. Rumble. The sounds of gun salutations rang out in the Great Wall University. The scene was extremely grand, welcoming the last batch of exam candidates. Quickly look, these are all the geniuses who killed their way out from the final ranking battles. I recognize the man in the lead, he is Donghuang Taichu. In the ranking battles, he got ranked the 3rd, being defeated in the semifinals. But it's said that his combat strength isn't any weaker compared to the 2nd ranker. I heard that his background is from none other than the majestic Huaxia Great Clan, the Donghuang clan. He didn't select the Kunlun University and the Buzhou University on Huaxia's territory but chose to come here instead. His cultivation base is already at the mid-phase of the Grand Cultivator realm, and his vitality stats has broken past 3,000. Even the Great Wall University also had to pay a huge price to recruit him. Once he joins the university, he would obtain a special grade scholarship and 50,000 contribution points. He would surely be someone that is heavily nurtured. Awesome, his terrifying combat strength should have already surpassed many second-year students. He is absolutely the #1 among freshmen. You must note that the other new students couldn't even enter the top 10 in the ranking battles. He is just too strong. There was a young man who stood at the forefront and clad in golden Chinese-style robes with dragon patterns embroidered on them. He instantly attracted the attention of everyone when he appeared like he was a chosen of the heavens, the most important one when compared to everyone else. Standing at the corner, Feng Lin silently observed the scene as his expression grew heavy. Even for him, he could clearly feel the concentrated vitality and strength within this young man's body. His aura felt like the flames of the blazing sun, capable of incinerating everything. Rays of heat radiated from Donghuang Taichu's eyes, wherever he turned his gaze to, a burning energy could be felt. Those whom he glanced at could feel a burning sensation on their skin. Such a terrifying genius only managed to reach the 3rd rank in the ranking competition. In that case, how powerful were the 2 others who were ranked before him? There would always be someone more exceptional, there would always be a taller mountain. Although Feng Lin had had some achievements after coming to the Great Wall University, he couldn't afford to be careless. When compared to these true geniuses of the universe, he was still too far from them. Being suppressed by someone of the same age, Feng Lin could feel an intense pressure in his heart. Dong Huang Taichu's expression was calm, so calm that he had no expressions. He seemed to have sensed something and glance over only to see a lanky figure leaving. Before he noticed, Feng Lin had already left. "Young Master Dong Huang, what are you looking at?" A man walked over. This man had azure eyes and golden hair, radiating a clear feeling of nobility. "Augustus, when did you become a busybody?" Dong Huang Taichu coldly spoke. His eyes gleamed with golden light, resembling flames as he stared at Feng Lin. This person has such a low cultivation base. Is he also a freshman here? Why had he never met him before? Also, why did the genetic force from this person seem somewhat similar to his own? He cast a deep glance at Feng Lin's back as a spark of interest grew in his heart. Dong Huang Taichu is the strongest freshman. The others might be a tier inferior compared to him, but they are all still considered peak geniuses in the universe. That Augustus came from the Rome Federation, and he is ranked number 11, almost within the top 10. That's right. That Arthur Tragan is also ranked within the top 50. This person isn't bad too, his vitality stat is 2,200, already broken through the 2,000 mark. The students from the Great Wall University started to comment on the freshmen, singing their praises. These freshmen were all proud individuals and their auras extremely powerful. The school opening ceremony had already started. They walked in neat rows toward the public square. Even their steps were in unison, causing the ground to tremble. As famous geniuses in the universe, they were used to being in the center of attention since they were young, basking in the looks of admiration. They didn't need to adapt to this scene, in fact, it caused their confidence to soar even higher. Quickly look, that Feng Lin is here. He can be considered a legendary character. I heard that he managed to gain a connection with Senior Sister Zhao and excavated a mythological ruin. An uproar rang out. The scene suddenly changed. Other than the surroundings around Dong Huang Taichu and Augustus, everywhere else became empty. The atmosphere also fell silent. The other new students all exchanged glances, completely not used to it. It wasn't easy for them to pass the universe ranking battle, and now, they were actually being ignored and neglected? They naturally would feel awkward and depressed. Feng Lin walked toward the public square where the school opening ceremony was held. As he walked over, many people turned their gazes toward him. He is Feng Lin? It's him. I was there at the side watching when he went to the military tribunal. This fellow seems very capable. I heard that he recently excavated a mythological ruin and gained 1,000,000 contribution points. Although his cultivation base wasn't high, I heard that his attainments in medicinal refinement and mythological knowledge are exceptional. There were many elites in the Great Wall University, so they had no lack of people with high cultivation. But as for Feng Lin, he just joined the school and already had so many achievements. It wasn't something ordinary people could rival. His name gradually got more famous. Everywhere he went by, people would crowd around to take a look at him. He could already be considered a legendary character of the university with some fame. If based on popularity alone, these freshmen could be considered the top among all freshmen, but Feng Lin stood at a level higher than them. The moment he appeared, he drew away a large portion of attention from the crowd. Who can tell us who that brat is? Those freshmen were extremely puzzled and depressed. It was one thing to be suppressed by those monstrous geniuses like Dong Huang Taichu in the ranking battle. But after coming to the university, their radiance was actually masked by some unknown person? How could these prideful new students endure such a thing? Brat, who are you? A Caucasian freshman with a muscular figure walked out. With his bulging muscles, he looked akin to a large white bear. He walked straight toward Feng Lin, seemingly intending to knock into him. He had undergone the ranking battle and could confirm that he had never met Feng Lin before. How strong could an exam candidate that couldn't even make it to the ranking battle be? Most probably, he would shatter from a single touch. The muscular Caucasian had a malevolent smile on his face. He decided to show the crowd that Feng Lin was a weakling. However, Feng Lin merely gave him a glance in reply, a glance that was extremely cold and sharp. What sort of gaze was that? He felt completely ignored. The guy was instantly enraged. Kacha, kacha. Under his stunned gaze, Feng Lin transformed into a 3-meter-tall giant. Before he could react, the muscular Caucasian felt a stifling aura boring down on him, knocking him back from the sheer intensity of the pressure. This man just broke through to the Grand Cultivator realm. Why would he want to look for trouble with his vitality stats barely breaking through 1,000 points? Feng Lin couldn't be bothered. He didn't even glance at him and left directly. These freshmen had looks of astonishment on their faces when they stared at his leaving figure. This man is still an elite cultivator, but what a powerful vitality. His surname is Feng as well. Could he be a descendant of the Feng clan of Huaxia? Donghuang Taichu stared at Feng Lin, his eyes flickering with a sinister light. He recalled the scenes during the ranking battle that had been broadcasted through the universe. He had been crushingly defeated under the countless gazes of everyone by that invincible-looking silhouette. The Feng clan? Chapter 349, School Opening Ceremony. Imposing, majestic. The freshmen stood in neat rows in the gigantic public square like the most seasoned of soldiers, with their bodies as straight as a spear. They stood in a military formation and looked extremely grand. And other than the 1,000-plus freshmen who just joined this year, there were also biological creatures of other races here. More accurately, there were alien races present. There were humanoid octopi with 8 tentacles. Their skin was black and they came from an oceanic civilization from a planet made completely from the water. It was located near the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. There were stone giants whose height was over 8 meters with bodies as tough as rocks. There were also harpies who could transform their bodies into gaseous states to travel the outer space. All sorts of alien races who could normally be seen in illustrations on the web all appeared right now. This was truly an eye-opener. There were also a group of green-skinned monsters which Feng Lin found to be extremely familiar. They had long noses and stooped bodies along with wrinkled skins. These creatures were none other than the space goblins. One among them wore luxurious robes and a crown. It should be none other than the king of space goblins. Since the Great Wall University was one of the cosmos universities, if only interstellar humans were present and not the interstellar races, the name wouldn't be apt. Feng Lin had an understanding in his heart, and he saw things on a deeper level. These aliens all had quite a high status among their own races, but weren't they only here to be the hostages? The law of the universe was the law of the jungle, just on a greater scale. When 2 different races came in contact, in order to seize resources, conflict would surely arise. The only exception was when one of the races completely became a vassal to the other. Feng Lin had a look of contemplation on his face. Although interstellar humans weren't the strongest in the universe, their territory had already extended to the entire Milky Way galaxy. It seemed like they had subdued quite a few races and had a few vassals. Students, this is the opening ceremony of our Great Wall University. We welcome you to join us. In the future, you all will feel extremely fortunate that you made this choice, for this is the best choice you've made in your life. Over here, you all will stand at the front line of humanity, fighting against alien races. You will obtain the most advanced cultivation knowledge and walk on your respective paths that are filled with boundless possibilities. One day, you will stand at the peak of the starry space, proudly peering at the long river of human history. Rumble. A towering aura radiated forth. A figure stood in the air. The sound of his arrival was like thunder from the 9 heavens, causing everyone to turn their attention over. This person was none other than the headmaster of the Great Wall University. He was also the commander-in-chief of the interstellar army of the Great Wall. His title was Marshal Lu Zhengong. As the headmaster of one of the Cosmos universities, he wasn't ordinary headmasters that looked stooped and old. He was extremely fit, like in the prime of his years. An imposing aura could be felt from him. For the people present, regardless of their cultivation bases, all of them felt involuntarily pressured to bow their heads. This was a suppression that came from the difference in gene level. Many people couldn't withstand the pressure and directly slumped onto the ground. Only tens of people managed to remain standing, their backs as straight as ever. This caused many bewildered looks to turn to them. How terrifying were the cultivations of these people? Feng Lin summoned his heart monkey force and managed to barely stand tall underneath the pressure. Wariness grew in his heart. Headmaster Lu Zhengong's cultivation is truly terrifying. That goes without saying. The headmaster is an extremely famous and powerful cultivator in the universe. It's said that he has already broken through the 3 realms of Adept and surpassed the Sage realm, achieving the realm of Genetic King. What cultivation realm is that? It sounds incredible. At the opening ceremony, the headmaster gave a passionate speech. Many students below conversed silently, sighing in admiration. Their eyes filled with yearning. A genetic king? Feng Lin was silently shocked. After he came to the Great Wall University, he used some of his contribution points to exchange for some common cultivation knowledge. The cultivation system of mythological genes could be classified into many realms. In the beginning, the first 3 realms were the Cultivator, Elite Cultivator, and Grand Cultivator realm. After breaking through the Grand Cultivator realm, there would be the 3 realms of the Adept level, the Adept, Elite Adept, and Grand Adept realm. Once one surpassed the Grand Adept realm, they would reach the Sage realm. The Sage realm could also be classified into 3 realms. The Genetic King realm was the second realm out of the 3 Sage realms. It was said that when one reached such a high level in cultivation, they could consciously control the mythological genes in their body, making them fuse voluntarily, achieving complete control. On the cultivation path, although Feng Lin possessed a huge advantage, he was merely at the start of his path. As long as he hadn't fully matured, he would at most have great potential. Potential didn't equate to strength. The appearance of the headmaster caused Feng Lin to see his future path clearly. He would grow even stronger. The universe is incomparably vast, filled with endless danger. Although humanity currently occupies the Milky Way galaxy, we are actually living in the midst of deep water and hellish fire. There are countless races stronger than us, capable of destroying the human race at any time. We have to vie with them for any resources. If you all thought that you all can cultivate in peace after joining the Great Wall University, I'm afraid you are wrong. Over here, the competitive situation is far more intense than what you have imagined. After school starts, there would be a devil training for 3 months. For those who can persist on their own all the way to the end, they would be qualified to become someone that the school would nurture using the best resources. After entering the university, all your past achievements wouldn't count for anything. We have our own standards. From now onwards, all of you will start from 0. Every bit of resources and every achievement would have to be fought for by you, contending against the others. Do you all dare to do so? Are you all capable enough to do so? Said the headmaster, his words stirring the hearts of everyone. But as cultivators, how could they say that they were not up to the task? The freshmen were all proud individuals. They instantly roared in unison, "I can." Their words rang out loud in the air. This wasn't merely just spoken words, they truly felt that they could do it from the depths of their hearts. Being able to join one of the Cosmos universities was already a good proof of their qualifications. Which of them weren't the most outstanding ones among their peers when they grew up? Their self-confidence had been nurtured since they were young. How could they say that they wouldn't be able to do it? Very good, the headmaster spoke. The devil training will sort you all into different rankings for the newbie board. You will get academic points based on your exam results and performance in school. I shall announce the current rankings now. The first place would surely be Dongwang Taichu, right? The second place should be Augustus. That's right, we are all freshmen, so how would we have any good performance in school? Isn't the ranking still based on our exam results? Everyone silently mused. But at the next moment, when they saw the revealed rankings, all of them were stunned. There was a single name floating high up in the air. The number of academic points was 10,237, completely crushing the second-place Dongwang Taichu, who had 2,635 points, and the third-place Augustus, who had 2,263 points. If the first place wasn't Feng Lin, who could it be? In truth, if simply based on Feng Lin's exam results, he would only have about 268 points. But his performance in school was simply too dazzling, resulting in the current situation. Killing spirit life forms, fleeing from the Great Qin flying shuttle and surviving alone in outer space. Defending himself in the military tribunal, exposing the true traitor to humanity. Excavating a mythological ruin, filling up huge amounts of mythological blanks. Although he was recruited by the university earlier, how long was that only? In such a short time, this brat actually accomplished so many things? All the freshmen were stunned after they saw his accomplishments. Was there something wrong? But this brat was just a mere elite cultivator. That's right, he must have gained a huge advantage because he joined the Great Wall University earlier. The future devil training would surely make him reveal his true form. Everything now is just a facade of glory. Feng Lin as an elite cultivator actually climbed to the top ranking, suppressing everyone. This scene was too dazzling. How could those proud freshmen be able to accept this? They only felt that Feng Lin was lucky because he was recruited earlier. There was nothing impressive about him. Feng Lin stood in the crowd and could sense numerous gazes filled with hostility staring at him. He was already a thorn in the eyes of many people. Yet, he stood there calmly. Those who wouldn't inspire jealousy in others were nothing but mediocre beings. What was there to be afraid of? Interesting. Dongwang Taichu, who was in the crowd, suddenly laughed. His expression seemed gentle, but his eyes were as sharp as a sword. How long has it been? When have I ever been suppressed by another person with such a huge disparity before? Even that person failed to accomplish this. This Feng Lin? You truly are a very interesting fellow. Chapter 350, Vitality Stat Test. The first test will soon start. It was the Vitality Stat Test. At that time, the examiner will arrange training missions for you according to your vitality stats. Now, I will hereby announce the start of the devil training, the headmaster spoke, officially announcing that school had started. After that, he flew toward a high position and sat down at a floating seat, staring down at everything. Rumble. The ground before Feng Lin and the new students cracked open as a gigantic apparatus appeared. This apparatus could accurately measure one's vitality stat. Clap. The sound of a whip harshly striking the ground could be heard. A 3-meter-tall, burly man appeared before the freshmen. He stared at them like a hawk staring at its prey. This caused the tiny hairs on everyone's back to stand. Clad in military uniform, his sturdy muscles could clearly be seen and an immense pressure gushed forth from him. None of the students dared to say anything more. From today onwards, I will be the instructor for the devil training. This place is the Great Wall University, but it is also an army. The first thing you all have to remember is that my orders are absolute. I expect absolute obedience. For those who dare to defy me, don't blame me for not being polite. For lighter crimes, you all will be punished by imprisonment. For heavier crimes, you will directly be expelled from the university. You all best not taint the good reputation of the Great Wall University, which was exchanged through the sweat and blood of countless seniors. The lesson I'll be teaching will let you all continuously challenge your own limits. I want you to reach a higher level and that you will do everything to force your potential out. Now, the vitality test will begin in descending order, starting from the number 1 ranking on the newbie board, said the instructor solemnly. After that, he suddenly called out, "Phone Lin." "Present." Phone Lin called out. He walked out from the crowd and moved toward the vitality stat detector. Swish, swish. The eyes of everyone turned over, their gazes were filled with a teasing look. So what if you got an advantage by being recruited earlier? Your cultivation base shall be your greatest limit. You will reveal your true form in this vitality stat test. The competition within the university was intense, and there was no such thing as keeping a low profile. Phone Lin summoned the entirety of his aura and allowed the apparatus to scan him. An instant later, data immediately appeared. Vitality stat, 1368. When the results came out, the expressions of everyone changed. It wasn't that this result was too good or too bad. Among the freshmen, such a result was only considered average. What made everyone shocked was that if they didn't recall wrongly, this Phone Lin was merely an elite cultivator. By right, the limit of vitality stats for elite cultivators should be fixed at 1000. How did he manage to break the vitality limit? This kind of vitality stat was already not in any way inferior to a grand cultivator. Those people couldn't help but retract their contempt for Phone Lin, no longer daring to look down on him. Although they were arrogant, they were no fools. Other than Phone Lin's cultivation realm, he could basically be considered as a grand cultivator in all aspects. If someone dared to look down on him, wouldn't that be equal to smacking their own faces? Comparing ability, since Phone Lin was able to break through the vitality stat limit of the elite cultivator realm, this proved that he had immense potential, causing others to be shocked. Even the instructor felt shocked. It had been a very long time since he last saw a student with so much potential. Although his current strength was weak, if based on potential, Phone Lin was undoubtedly number 1 among the freshmen. He must have experienced many things and suffered a lot to be able to break through the vitality stat limit. His gaze toward Phone Lin gradually contained a hint of admiration. Surpassing the vitality stat limit? Donghuang Taichu among the crowd had a cold look on his face. He suddenly thought of something. It was said that the major reason why that Feng Fudao was able to suppress his peers and become the indisputable number 1 was because he managed to break through his vitality stat limit when he was at the elite cultivator realm. He could already challenge and dominate countless grand cultivators despite the fact that he was at the elite cultivator realm. Thus, the moment that Feng Fudao stepped into the grand cultivator realm, due to his deep foundation and vast accumulations, his combat strength instantly reached an unimaginable height. He was simply invincible. But how hard was it to break the vitality stat limit? 99% of cultivators would find it difficult to even reach that limit. They weren't able to cultivate to their realm's perfection. Realm's perfection was merely the absolute limit of one's current cultivation realm. Only by breaking past the limit would boundless possibilities be generated. Donghuang Taichu himself didn't manage to break through his vitality stat limit when he was at the elite cultivator realm. This was why when he fought against Feng Fudao, he wasn't able to do anything. He couldn't even exchange 10 moves and was already defeated. Although he eventually got the 3rd place, Donghuang Taichu was very clear that there was a great disparity between him and that invincible man. The difference was as great as the distance between the heavens and earth. Their difference in rankings might be small, but he knew he wouldn't have the slightest chance of victory. If the heavens allowed him to be born, why did they allow that Feng Fudao to be born as well? How flourishing was the Feng clan? Now that Phone Lin had revealed himself, could it be that yet another monstrous-level genius was going to appear in the Feng clan? Without realizing it, his gaze became colder as he stared at Phone Lin. Phone Lin slowly walked away. His eyes were calm, and he wasn't bothered by the discussion of others. He wouldn't allow his state of heart to be swayed. Donghuang Taichu. After Phone Lin walked away, the instructor called out the second name. Donghuang Taichu had a cold look on his face. He didn't glance sideways and walked straight toward the vitality scanner. Even if Feng Lin's potential was shocking, there was no doubt that Donghuang Taichu was the #1 among the freshmen in terms of strength. He got the 3rd rank in the ranking battle of the Cosmos Universities. How much would his vitality stat be? Under the attention of the crowd, Donghuang Taichu walked toward the vitality scanner. The scanner instantly reacted, and a moment later, an unimaginable number appeared. Vitality stat, 4,129. What? When did his vitality stat break through the 4,000 mark? Wasn't his vitality stat around 3,000 during the ranking battle? How did his vitality stat grow so quickly? Seems like he must have gained plenty of comprehension during the ranking battle. Growing stronger the more he battles. He is truly a monster. When an expert was present, everyone would know instantly. The moment Donghuang Taichu appeared, an uproar was created. When Feng Lin saw this scene, he also felt his heart stirring. Regardless of what heights he wanted to achieve, this man before him was like a giant mountain. He had to surpass this Donghuang Taichu as quickly as possible. If not, what qualifications did he have to speak about the boundless possibilities in the future? Augustus. The instructor called out another name. A lanky figure with golden hair walked out. He was like a figure from Greek mythology, shining with dazzling light. Vitality stat, 3012. The vitality stat of this Augustus is also above 3000. Doesn't this mean that he has already stably entered the mid-phase of the Grand Cultivator realm? Although Donghuang Taichu is powerful, it doesn't mean that he has no opponents. That's true, if Augustus had such a vitality stat during the ranking competition, he would definitely be top 10 without a doubt. This batch of freshmen isn't bad. The headmaster exchanged glances with many of the professors and teachers of the Great Wall University as they smiled. For this interstellar examination this time around, the Great Wall University could be said to have a good harvest. They managed to recruit 2 of the top 10 exam candidates and had recruited someone who managed to break through the vitality stat limit in advance. They truly benefited a lot. One must note that the Great Wall University would constantly face attacks from alien races. The pressure on them was exceedingly great. These new bloods were the greatest hope for everyone. They would become powerful characters, increasing the university's strength. After Feng Lin and the 2 others had finished their vitality scan, the others went up one by one as well. Although their results weren't that good, it was not too bad either. Very soon, this test was concluded. Very good. The instructor nodded. The vitality stats of everyone is already recorded. In that case, the devil training shall start now. Everyone, wear your gravity suits and adjust the weight to 10x your vitality stat. After that, begin a 100 kilometers run. No arguments are permitted. Act now. Numerous gravity suits were passed to the freshmen. What? Everyone didn't even have the time to react. The instructor already lashed his whip, which was congealed from air, onto the ground, causing a cracking noise. The freshmen didn't dare to resist and could only obey sullenly. A 10x value of their vitality stat. How heavy would the gravity be? Even Feng Lin found it extremely taxing. No matter how much strength he had or how tough his body was, he had to carry a weight of 13 tons as he ran. This was simply. He couldn't afford to hold anything back. He summoned the entirety of his strength as he ran step by step. Each of his steps was incredibly heavy, causing loud bangs upon landing. His body was being squeezed to the limits. Persisting under such a situation was also a type of pressure training. His genetic potential skyrocketed. Genetic potential plus 1.8, plus 1.8, plus 1.8.